He is going to join the NFL Network main desk for the draft from picks 1 through 256 for the first time. Daniel Jeremiah, good to see you here, brother. It's well-deserved.
Oh, thank you, sir.
It's
going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. I'll be there with you in Philadelphia. And Daniel Jeremiah is also, I do believe, one of the many talent evaluators who Dabo Swinney thinks should lose his job.
I think that's fair to say.
You should be fired, sir.
Yeah. And he also thinks his quarterback should wear 23 instead of 4.
That's correct. Yeah. Or I guess it depends on, or 45, right? Depends on what era we're talking about.
9 if it's Dream Team,
Okay, sure. Do you still have Deshaun Watson with a second-round grade?
No, he's my top quarterback.
Okay.
So
he has a first-round grade still?
He's my 27th overall player. So when people always ask me, like, is this a first-round grade? If you're one of my top 32 players,
yes.
It's a first-round grade.
So obviously, we could talk about the makeup and the character of somebody. When it all comes down to it, we're talking about wins and losses, which is why people who have poor character are still considered first-round draft choices. Yeah. All that said, I just heard what makes Deshaun Watson up.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, as a guy who's looking for a franchise quarterback, who's trying to put their foot in the ground and try and pivot finally from being in the business of constantly finding somebody, why not him? Why is he not considered a surefire top 5, if not top pick in this draft?
Sure. To me, when I evaluate quarterbacks, the 3 most important factors you look at, to me, is poise, which Deshaun Watson absolutely has. You
Check
can watch
that
him
box.
play. Check that box.
Yes.
But the next 2 are accuracy and decision-making. So if you were going to go on a scale of 1 to 5, accuracy and decision-making, I'd put him probably the 3+ on both of those marks. So, you're talking about taking a guy that high. You're talking about wanting a guy that's a little more accurate than he is and protect the football a little bit more than he has. I mean, that's the reason why I don't think we'll see him go right there at the top.
But didn't Matt Ryan have a ton of interceptions in his final year at Boston College?
Matt Ryan, yeah, he did. Matt Ryan was playing at Boston College, but I don't know if he had an NFL player on his team, on that offense. You look at this Clemson offense, this guy's surrounded by a lot of impressive guys, and you go back and the negative side of it is you go look at Taj Boyd and his statistics and what he compiled, surrounded by all these great players in this system.
Mm-hmm.
That was a team that was winning 10+ games every year. You look at his stats, they line up pretty close alongside Deshaun Watson, and we know, he didn't have an NFL career. So you can't always just take the team success and the statistical success and translate that to the next level.
Where do you think Deshaun Watson is going to be selected next Thursday?
He's the hardest one for me to pin down. Because when you hear about Trubisky gets a lot of buzz when you talk about specific teams.
Yes.
The team that I've maintained, I think that makes some sense. I don't think they'll do it is the Chargers, just because you've got a situation for him to sit behind Phillip Rivers for a couple years. I think that makes a lot of sense. They're going to enter into that new stadium, 2019, and you'd have him ready to roll at that point in time. But I don't think the Chargers are going to do it. So when I try and find a specific team, Buffalo could be potentially
at
one.
10.
But then you hear them mentioned more with Trubisky. You hear the Browns at 12 maybe trading up, and that's Trubisky. So you just don't hear his name associated with the individual teams. The Cardinals, you keep hearing Mahomes.
Yes.
So just trying to match him up is difficult.
We've got Patrick Mahomes calling into the show later on. Tell me about him and why he shoots up draft boards.
You're talking about somebody that has the physical tools are off the charts. You want to talk about the size and the arm strength, it's elite.
What is his size?
He's about 6'3", just under 6'3", but he is a thick, broad-shouldered, strong kid. To me, he looks like Donovan McNabb. When you watch him physically move around and just how he throws the football, that's who I see a lot of. Now, he plays outside the structure of that offense almost exclusively.
Right.
And I don't, the challenge for me is I can't go back unless you talk about Brett Favre, who's a unicorn, guys that have had that type of success, outside the play call, and that's what he does. So he's going to have to rein all that stuff in. He's got raw footwork. But teams are going to fall in love with the arm strength. And I had a chance to visit with him last week, and I think you'll enjoy it, Rich, because this kid's got a presence about him. He's got a great energy. I asked him, I said, hey, I just went back and watched the TCU game this morning. And you're going down, there's a minute left. You threw a touchdown plus. What was the play call? What were you seeing? He spits out the play call. I had a pop pass. They covered up the tight end, so I hit the drag behind him. I go, okay, you go to overtime. You ran a touchdown in from 20 yards. Yeah, they were in two-man, so I knew as a quarterback you're in two-man. You have an option to take off and run. There was some room. Yeah, the recall was there. So intelligence and tools, you got a good thing to work with.
Daniel Jeremiah here on the Rich Eisen Show in studio. What do you make of Deshone Kizer's comments saying that, he has the skill set to be an all-time great quarterback, which is fine that somebody says that.
Yeah.
When he talks about how he's got the mind of Tom Brady, he's got a mind like Tom when he comes into and what he does in terms of preparation and challenges his coaches, and a body like Cam Newton. What do you make of something like that from a prospect mere days before the draft?
Yeah, to me, I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I mean, you can look at some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Confidence is not an issue. You can't have too much of it. So to me, that doesn't really bother me. But it got me thinking of, if you were going to say that Chris Law has the body of who and the mind of who would you go with?
Oh yeah, that's coming up in hour 3, DJ.
We were
Is that
planning
part
on
of the
doing
show?
That is part of the show today.
Yeah, I was going to go with supersized Bobcat Goldthwait, but that's with some facial hair.
What about that?
Do I do the
Is
voice?
that the body or the mind part?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you'd go with the body of Joey Julius.
Ooh,
All right, because he's
Nice.
got that Penn State,
nice.
and the cabeza of, I think, Ben Affleck on steroids, right?
Well, I am according to the
we
great
have Schreiber.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, I mean,
I am the.
I'm gonna call him the Ben Affleck of radio.
yeah, that's it right there.
We have Schreiber.
I get a lot of
guys, come on.
Liev.
You got the Liev Schreiber
Ooh, that's a good
on
one. I like that one.
roids.
Like
Yeah.
bloated Liev.
Trapezoidal Liev.
Yeah, like if I ate Liev, I get that a lot.
So this is a segment. This is a legitimate
Yeah,
segment.
we thought about that.
I like that.
Because it is an interesting soundbite. Well, how about this? What
Yeah.
concerns you more, him saying that or what Brian Kelly said about him?
Brian Kelly.
What-
To
where
me,
did that
was
come-
so bizarre. And I know, look, we had Kizer on Path to the Draft yesterday, and he was
Yeah.
like, no, I agree with what he said, and he tried to smooth it over. You don't hear that publicly.
That
ever.
I don't think he
It's
should
always-
be leaving school. I mean, the last person to kind of do that was Pete Carroll with Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to me, it wasn't even just that. It was that he has some growing up to do on the field and off the field. This is kind of
Right.
I don't know. Just to me, sometimes I feel like we talk out of both sides of our mouths. We don't want canned answers. We want you to be honest. But in that situation, I think as a head coach, you're just like, look, I wish we still had him, man. I wish we still had this kid. But yeah, I think he's going to be successful. It might take a minute, but I believe in him, and I'm all in on him, and wish him the best. That's it.
And before we button up our conversation here then on quarterbacks, if you're a team out there saying, all right, I like some of these top of the flow chart guys right here, but I don't think first round. I can't do it, or we don't want to trade up. We don't want to use our firepower to go get this guy. I want to get the next Dak, Russell Wilson. I want to get the
Kirk
next
Cousins, yeah.
right, third, fourth round gem. Who might that be? Obviously, if you knew that, we would have seen Dak and or Russell Wilson coming down the road. But who do you think has the best shot of being that guy in this draft?
Well, you're hearing a lot of buzz about Josh Dobbs out of
We
Tennessee.
had him on
as being
and
that
we
guy.
loved
He's
him.
an impressive kid. I would actually go with Nate Peterman, who ironically Josh Dobbs beat out at Tennessee. So it's kind of interesting. But he's, to me, I think he's pretty ready to go. I think you want to get somebody on the field earlier in their career. I think Nate Peterman have a good shot to do it.
Okay. And which team do you think in the top 10 does pull the trigger on a quarterback? Because you heard Deshaun Watson say the 49ers and the Bears, Jacksonville. I mean, it's 2, 3, 4 sitting right there that one took a look-see at. 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 took a look-see at him.
They're all taking a look-see at these quarterbacks. I still, though, I think the most likely, if I was going to say a team most likely to take a quarterback, I still think it's Buffalo and Cleveland. Those are the two that I would keep an eye on.
Cleveland where?
I would think if they're patient, they would wait at 12. I don't think they'll do it at 1, but I think it could be kind of a move back up deal.
Cleveland fans are so nervous that this is going to get screwed up.
Taking a quarterback with their second first-round pick has worked out just tremendously for them for the last decade.
So it's been Manziel, right?
Was Brady Quinn? He was 22, but did they have another one?
Brandon Whedon.
Whedon was the second
Whedon.
first rounder.
Yeah, good.
Right.
Brady was after Joe Thomas, right? So Joe Thomas went, and they came back up for Brady.
They did. So
They were all at the same number pick too, right?
22.
Yep. So do they package 12,
Yikes.
trade down, and draft a quarterback at 22?
I would make that trade with the Miami Dolphins
can't
right
do
now.
that.
The Dolphins would say, all right, good.
The Dolphins would take a quarterback.
We got it. Yeah. Would the Dolphins go and take a quarterback?
No, I don't think so. But
Why? I mean, let's just hit that for a brief bit here. I mean, why?
Kick the tires?
Why? Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes-
they're
sometimes-
married to Tannehill for one more year.
Yeah.
Is that what they're going to do?
Here's
here?
one of the things that I think, though, that you got people have a lot of time on their hands, Rich. So you're sitting here saying, okay, the team that I just mentioned that might be in on a quarterback, Buffalo.
Yes.
So if you're going to have to play against this guy for the next 10 years, why not bring him in your building, put him on the board, find out what he sees, what he doesn't see, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and craft your scouting report for playing this guy for the next decade.
Is that why the Ravens may have done that? I mean, why would the Ravens go out and bring in Deshaun Watson?
Well, that one to me, look, Joe Flacco hasn't played great.
Really?
He has not played great. Not over the last few years.
Are you saying he's not an elite quarterback?
I don't want to go there. You don't have enough time.
Isn't that the Belichick model? Bring guys in.
You would lose your block that you have for later in the show about trying to see what these guys look like if we went down the Flacco elite thing. Real quick though, Rich, a question.
Yes.
So schedule comes out. The tradition, you got to go win-loss, win-loss, win-loss all the way down the line. Yes. Have you ever done that with like a list of guests for the week of your show and just said, this is a good day, this is a bad day, this is a good day, this is a bad day?
No, I have not.
I think it's behind closed doors. I think that needs to go down.
So on Sunday night when we've got the lineup
Yes.
for scheduled guests,
win-loss,
win-loss.
Yeah.
But I can hopefully control whether it's a win or not, right? So I'm like one of those. I'm one of those coaches that no matter what you give me, I'm going to mold the clay into something beautiful.
You should make DJ do it with the rest of today's lineup. We got Marv Albert coming up.
Come on, that's a win.
We got Baron Davis in studio. He might be back there now.
They're
So
all
choose
wins.
your words
Baron
wisely.
Davis
They're all
is
wins.
easy. I played against Baron Davis in high school, by the way.
Who did? Baron Davis?
My last basketball game of my career was against Crossroad High School and Baron Davis.
I got to take a break on this one because,
We
Crossroads
need this
is,
story.
I believe, home to Shaquille O'Neal's son, who he's
that's where
sending
he
to
is now.
Arizona. What the poll question, as it currently stands, brought to you by TrueCar. You can find out what other people in your area have paid for the same car you're looking for, and on average, save over $3,000 off MSRP. Whether you're looking for a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Brockman, what does it currently stand?
Yeah, DJ, let's have DJ answer first. What quarterback would you want your team to draft? Watson, Mahomes, Trubisky, Kizer.
Yeah, I have Watson, Trubisky, Kizer, Mahomes in that order.
That's your order?
Yeah.
Watson, Kizer, Trubisky, Mahomes.
Watson, Trubisky,
Kizer, Mahomes. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Deshaun Watson, 61%.
Yeah, I'm kind of sold on him, but I'm looking forward to chatting with Patrick Mahomes later
a good
on.
kid.
Okay, that's later on. But when we come back, I want to hit the running backs where you think Mixon lands and the rest of these running backs, and then try and get a sense of how the top five is going to go because nobody knows. This has been incredible. It's been a chessboard thrown up in the air like no other for the draft. We're back with Daniel Jeremiah in a moment. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Marv Albert and Baron Davis next hour to talk about the NBA playoffs, which took an interesting turn this morning. Rajon Rondo, according to the Bulls, broke his thumb. And wait to hear how Fred Hoiberg said he broke it. Yes, Cavs fans, it's the return of Kelly Olynyk to the playoffs.
He's a factor.
Oh, my gosh. Wait till you hear that. And Rondo's out indefinitely. We'll discuss that again with Marv Albert, Baron Davis next hour. Still a few more minutes left with Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network. What are you hearing about Mixon? Where do you think he goes?
I haven't been able to get one team to tell me that he's on their board. The teams are quick to tell you that he's off their board, and then
wouldn't the teams that say that aren't answering the question directly
he's
that he's on the board?
right? Yeah, but I've said second round, throughout this whole process. The guy is so talented. He's a top 15 type player. But then, this thing popped up with high school, what did or didn't happen. Mm-hmm. There's going to be stuff like this. You're just going to have to. You're always going to be dealing with it. And to me, I don't think in the first round we'll see it happen. I think day 2, second or third round, I would guess second.
Where does Fournette go? Is he top 5?
All the chatter, like all the buzz of late is that, okay, Jacksonville, we've all just put him to Jacksonville, and that might not necessarily be the case. And then you start hearing Carolina, McCaffrey is what I've been hearing for a while now. So I think there's at least an outside chance McCaffrey could end up going ahead of Fournette, which would surprise a lot of folks.
Well, I mean, Dave Gettleman, general manager of Carolina, said moments before we went on the air that both are a fit for Carolina. Yeah. Fournette and McCaffrey, he thinks would be fits in that. What offense wouldn't either one of them be fits in, right?
No, it's just whatever you're looking for.
When it comes down to
McCaffrey, McCaffrey's running back coach, who I visited with when I went and watched him play Washington this year. I've never heard a coach talk more glowingly about a player to the point where the coach had opportunities, to go to the next level and turn them down because he wanted to spend more time with Christian McCaffrey. That coach is now the receivers coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Huh?
So
how about them apples?
Interesting.
When we had David Shaw on Wednesday glowing about him, but you expect that from the coach, but it was special. And he really and what we saw at the combine, maybe one of the best route running running backs I've seen in Indianapolis.
How about how easy he caught the football?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So when it comes down to it, Myles Garrett won. Niners go Solomon Thomas.
Can you remember a year we're at number 2? We have no idea what's going to happen.
None.
So I've been pushing Solomon Thomas there forever.
Right.
And then again, as of late, I said, I've been told don't sleep on Marshawn Lattimore potentially going there, the corner from Ohio State. So that happens, I think, then at number 3 with the Bears. I think they would take Solomon Thomas, and then the intrigue gets to Jacksonville, what they do.
Yeah, where they could go, who knows, Fournette, quarterback even, just to throw everything off kilter.
I mean, I can make a case for why quarterback would make sense. But then again, as of late, I get the sense that they won't do that.
Do you think Baron Davis, who might be back there right now getting set to come out here, will remember the game that you played against him at Crossroads with Carl Malden and Dustin Hoffman in the audience?
We've talked about it. We've talked about it before.
Have you really?
Yeah. And by the way, we I played against 6 or so SEC teams in college football. Baron Davis, most explosive athlete I've ever been in a competition with. He was a freak show.
But seriously, what talent did you see at Appalachian State anyway?
Well, I was at Northeast Louisiana where we were the SEC whipping boy. And we didn't play Michigan at that time, Rich.
I walked into that one.
Yeah, you kind of set yourself up.
I should have waited till there were more seconds left before the hard out to have the last word. That was a rare mistake from the host right there. Good to see you. I'll see you in Philadelphia.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's Daniel Jeremiah.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.